If you want to be good at fishing, you don't need to think like a fish, you need to think like a fisherman. Hey, I'm Ben. I'm a huge fly fisherman. Welcome back to another episode of Huge Fly Fisherman. Thanks for taking the time out of your day to watch my video. I sincerely appreciate it. Okay, before we start the video, I gotta do my little advertisements and tell you about hugeflyfisherman.com, where you can get huge fly fisherman stuff. Also my other channel at special.tv, where you can get video stuff that you can't find on YouTube. Okay, let's do the video. So today's Huge Fly Fisherman video is all about streamer fishing. Now, you're not gonna learn everything you need to know about streamer fishing. That video would be way too long. This video just has some highlights of stuff that I think about randomly in the shower, and I wanted to share with you. All right, so let's talk about streamer fishing. We'll start off by talking about leaders. Now, when I think of fly fishing leaders, I think of Lee, Joe, Lefty, Chico, Mel, dudes like that. But you guys want to know all this dorky technical stuff, so we'll talk about the leaders that go on the end of your fishing string. When I'm streamer fishing, if I'm using a sink tip line or a full sinking line, I use 2 feet of 20 or 25 pound test for my leader. That's it. It's really short. And your 5 times tippet has no place in streamer fishing. You'll chuck your meat right off the end of your line. If you want to throw your money away like that, just buy my stickers instead. If you want to fish streamers shallow with a floating line, use a longer, thinner leader. This will help your fly sink. 7 to 9 feet, 2x to 0x is a good starting point. If you're fishing an intermediate line, I don't know, because it's not something I do very often, maybe just split the difference, I guess. All right, next tip. When you're fishing streamers, you want your line to be straight with no belly in it. When a fish eats your fly and your line doesn't have any slack or curves in it, you'll get a better transfer of energy from your hand to the fly, and you'll get better hook penetration when you stab them in the face. The way you get a straight line is by mending. Now, being a streamer junkie inherently means that you don't know how to mend, but you should try it anyway. It's not that hard. Generally, you'll be doing an upstream mend. You're making a cast that's quartering downstream and mending the line upstream to take the belly out and get your line straight. That's a nice segue to our next topic. Should you fish streamers upstream or downstream? I like to fish them downstream from myself, pulling them against the current. I feel like I have better control over the fly and how it's gonna behave. I can fish my streamer slower and give the fish a better chance of being able to grab it. If the fly is downstream, I also have a better connection to the fly so that I can feel what's going on even when I can't see it. For me, throwing my streamer upstream and stripping it back just feels wrong, like Euro nymphing. The one advantage that I can think of is that if you're streamer fishing from a boat, if you throw your fly back upstream behind the boat and strip it back to you, the fly will swim parallel to the bank and not across the currents. This way you can keep your fly in that sweet spot near the bank for longer. That's another good segue. I feel like I'm bringing my A game today. Let's talk about that sweet spot near the bank. In a lot of rivers, there is a certain zone that's called the color change. The water goes from shallow enough that you can see the bottom to just deep enough that you can't. That's the color change, and it's a super fishy zone, not just for streamers. Trout are pretty wary of predators from above, and they know that if they are deep enough, then they can't be seen. Trout are pretty good at being trout, but you can be pretty good at being a fisherman if you fish that color change. It's like my favorite spot. All right, last streamer tip, and then I'll let you get out of here. You're probably heading out and going fishing, right? If a fish is following your fly... Hey, voiceover Ben here. I have a really good analogy for what you should do if a fish is following your fly but won't commit and eat it, but it's not family friendly and it's not appropriate for YouTube, so I decided to leave it out of this video. I think it's a pretty good tip, so if you want to hear what I have to say, I did include it in this video over on my other channel at special.tv. How'd I do there? That's honestly the best analogy I have for when a fish is following your fly but won't eat it. And that's gonna do it for this Huge Fly Fisherman video about fishing streamers. I got a bunch more tips. I might do another one of these. Or if you have a tip that you'd like to share, go ahead and leave a comment. Or you can tell me that I'm totally wrong about everything I said. That's fine too. Thanks for taking the time out of your day to watch my video. I'll be back as soon as I can with another Huge Fly Fisherman video for you. Until then, if you're gonna chuck, don't forget to duck and stay huge. So it's not called streaming. This isn't Twitch. If you say streaming, you're banned from fly fishing.